Hey, what is going on? My name is HaZeeq and welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at Bitcoin. I do want to say that I'm not a financial advisor. You should do your own research before investing money into crypto. This video was requested by one of my patrons. No Name has requested this video, and we're going to be taking a look at Bitcoin. And I do want to show you this chart over here. But before that, I want to mention the two donation links down below in the description. Feel free to support the Ukrainian refugees and Ukraine's military by donating and help us get rid of the Russian war machine. So moving on to this website, and I've shown this once before, and I've shown this on my Patreon, but not a lot of people tune into Bitcoin videos on this channel. So if you do see this, then consider yourself lucky, because this wallet is the third wallet with the most BTC in their basically holdings, and this wallet currently has 132,000 Bitcoin. And the thing with this wallet is that he always sells before capitulations, before pullbacks, before corrections. So once you see this wallet sell, then potentially just have some spare fiat for the next couple of days, maybe a week, because usually he is so precise that he sells 24 hours before a pullback. Sometimes it takes a bit more than that, but as you can see, all these red letters here, red numbers point towards his positions that he sold, and the green ones is him accumulating Bitcoin. So he sold 500 Bitcoin on June 10th, right before the pullback. And after that, he has been accumulating. Okay, so this is just a little cheat sheet for you, a little cheat code for you to know when a potential pullback is going to happen. This doesn't have to work all the time, obviously, but this is a very good indicator to have at your disposal. Now, jumping into Bitcoin on the monthly chart. So we have the 20 EMA, which is the yellow line. We have the 55 EMA, which is the red line over here. And usually once you see a close below the 55 EMA, that is quite a negative indicator. But here, as you can see, we did have a close below the 55. And right now we are climbing back above. And if I go to this chart over here, as you can see, we did have a close below the 55 back in January. And if I go, and this is from Bitstamp, and if I go to the chart from Binance, which is supposed to be this one, you can see that we don't have the 55 EMA over here. And I was just on the Binance chart over here. This is TradingView, and I'm just going through multiple different charts just to show you how the EMAs are different. But here in 2019, we did close below, and from there we started an uptrend. We had a little move to the upside, then we had another pullback. So potentially this is something that we can expect over here. I would say the most important thing is for us to climb back above the 55. In the case of Bitstamp, this would be above $25,000. In the case of Binance, this would be slightly above $20,000. So if we can solidify above the 55 EMA and just hold it as support while the 20 EMA comes back down and they get closer together, that would be a very bullish thing in my opinion. Now also, I do have a very important support level for you on the monthly chart over here. So we did lose this support over here, and as you can see, each time we bounced from this area, we had a move to the upside. And this time in 2019, we had a move all the way to the in 2015, I apologize, to 2017, we had a move into the overbought. Then we had another pullback to the same area. And from there, we had another move to the upside. And this time we landed slightly below this zone. And right now it looks like we're starting to come back to the upside. So we are very oversold on the monthly chart. Now, moving over to the weekly chart on the RSI, you can see that we were in this falling wedge and we did lose the support of the wedge. And right now we dropped into the oversold below the index of 30. And right now we're recovering from the zone. Potentially, we're going to come up all the way here for a back test of resistance. And from there, we're going to have another move to the downside into the oversold. That is potentially what's going to happen, because usually after you lose a support level, you tend to come back up, back test it as resistance, and then you confirm that as resistance, and then you go back down. That doesn't mean that it's supposed to happen. You can even break back into the wedge, back test the, the resistance level that is above, and come back once again. So it's really, it's anyone guess what's going to happen. But if you're ready for multiple outcomes, you're in a better position than someone who just entered the market and doesn't know where to buy, where to sell. But you can use the RSI to your advantage, definitely. Now, moving over to the price action on the weekly chart, you can see that the yellow lines here show us a falling wedge that we were in as well, and we did lose this as support. And we had the 1.618 Fibonacci retracement target at $16,700. We have our swing high over here that we printed in November, which is the all-time high, and we have the swing low over here that we printed in June of last year. We had this move to the upside, so we have our high and we have our low. From there, we started a retracement to the downside, and we have our target at the 1.618 because once you lose the swing low, which in this case is at $30,000 or 28.5, once you lose that low, you have a technical target at the 1.618, which in our case is $16,700. And we haven't really bounced off that area. We did drop below the 1.414, slightly below $20,000, but we haven't dipped to this area. So what I'm thinking is something potentially that could happen here is that we can either have a little move to the upside and we can bounce off the previous resistance of, or the previous support of the falling wedge, which is now our resistance. We can bounce from there and have a move all the way down. And the same thing really could happen on the RSI, but this is something that could happen. We can start coming up. Everyone thinks we're flipping bullish. They're turning into ultra bulls, and it's just a way to liquidate all the long positions, or the short positions, I should say. And then we come back down, we liquidate the long positions. Potentially, we go all the way back down to the 1.618, or we could come back down for a higher low, right? Potentially starting the uptrend. But we'll see what happens. No one knows when the pullback is going to end. It could potentially last for the entire duration of summer. We could start recovering closer to the end of July. No one really knows what is going to happen. So it's good that you are prepared for both outcomes. Like I said, that's what I always try to do. I have my buy limit order set up in case we pull back. And if I'm swing trading some altcoins, I'll have my sell orders ready and set to go as well. So yeah, that's regarding the weekly chart. Now moving over to the daily chart, just zooming in here, I do want to show you this potential nice double bottom pattern that we have playing out. So for those who can't see, you have this low and you have the second low, which is higher than the first one. So you just count in the body of the candles basically, and you have your local high above, right? So you take this, and this is your neckline of the pattern, and you have your two lows. So how do you target this pattern? Now you take a trend line from the neckline over here all the way down to the low of the pattern, to the bottom of this pattern, and then you take that trend line and you place it where you think the breakout is going to happen. And from that breakout, you will get yourself the target. So in our case, this is going to be somewhere around $24,000. By that point, the 55 EMA could very well come back down here and reject us, and that would be near $24,000. So this would look something like this, right? And the price would come up, break the neckline, back test that as support potentially, and come up and break down once again. Whether we come back to this level or whether we come back down to the 1.414 fib over here, no one knows. We'll have to look at what we have at the time, but you can always start targeting this over here only after you start breaking this neckline. So you have to break $21,500. So I'm gonna bring out the price tag. So $21,500 is your neckline. If you break that, great. If not, if you start getting rejected from here, right, and you start coming back down, you create this double top pattern, then the same way you're going to have a target to the downside if you lose the local low over here. And we would have a target all the way down to the 1.618 here, which in my opinion is something that we're going to get to because a lot of companies need to get liquidated from the markets. The big players are going to make sure of that, and we can have these long squeezes to the downside. Really, we don't even have to hang around $17,000, that long. We can simply have a wick for 20 minutes, 15 minutes, and then we come back up, and that's it. You liquidate the people that you need to liquidate, and then you start your uptrend. But no one knows what is going to happen. I am buying into all my altcoins and waiting for a couple of years until we enter the super bullish phase of the bull market. But we can always drop even lower, and I'm ready for that as well. I am in no hurry whatsoever. I know where crypto is headed. I am completely sober in where I think we are going to end up. So I'm clear-minded on this. Hopefully I made that clear as possible, and hopefully you're not afraid of all these dips. When I see a dip, I get happy because I get to buy cheap prices, guys. And when I see the markets recovering, I feel kind of sad for the last couple of moves to the upside, because I was like, well, I wanted to buy more Cosmos at these lower prices. I don't want the markets to move up right now. So you just have to wait for these pullbacks, be ready, and buy the dip. Not a financial advice by any means, but thank you all for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Feel free to follow me on Twitter, and feel free to join me on my Patreon. I do upload a lot of things over there: low cap gem calls, project reviews, trade alerts, technical analysis requests, and video requests. I'll catch you in the next one. Goodbye and good night.